but only when Russia is economically destroyed. There is nothing that will stop the imperialist, colonialist ambitions of the Soviet mindset.
They don't give a damn about people. Why? The soldiers, I mean, and the people of Russia as well.
I mean, a lot of people from the UK and from the West say that once Putin's gone, all this will stop. And I don't think that's true. Because from the lower to the upper class of Russian society, there's a fundamental indifference to human life. And it's actually quite a racist and fascist mindset. And it's that if you're not from the motherland of Russia, your life doesn't matter. You're a state to be colonized. You're a person to be ridiculed and subjugated. And that exists throughout every single corner of the Soviet mindset. And the only way that's dealt with is if it's isolated. These people will always exist, Russia will always exist, but it should be isolated from the rest of the world. Unable to arm itself, unable to afford a war, and unable to travel, unable to do holidays in Europe, unable to do anything. It's the only way that that mindset is done, is contained. The idea that we shouldn't poke the bear, that the Russian army is something to be feared as this huge, terrifying force on earth, comes from the Cold War days, and it's an outdated ideology, it's an outdated mindset. Russia is a fraction of what it was when it was the Soviet Union back in the Cold War days. After its collapse, Russia's quite a new country as well. Russia was started, in the 1990s. It's a new country with a failing economy, with an economy smaller than Italy's. And I think if you want to understand what the Russian army is as well, you have to understand that Ukraine took and held Russian territory in Kursk for 8 months. And Russia couldn't take back their own land without bringing in troops from North Korea and weapons from Iran and electronics from China. They couldn't take back their own land without that, and it shows how much of a point of weakness they're coming from. And I know at the start of this conversation as well, I said, it doesn't mean that they're completely weak. There's still millions of 18-year-olds that graduate every single year, that turn 18 every single year, that can be drafted in Russia. But when it comes to actual logistics on the front line, these people are soldiers that were pulled out of mental asylums and prisons. These people are criminals that have been pardoned for fighting on the front line. And the main difference that I've found between interviewing Ukrainian soldiers and seeing what I saw in Russia is one side knows what they're fighting for, their land, their country, and their people. The other side just wants a paycheck. They don't know what they're fighting for. They have no idea why they're in the Donbass. They have no idea why they've been told to kill Ukrainians. And that's the main difference in mentality that I've seen. One side has no idea what they're doing. And they're disorganized and a mess because their country is a mess. And I think things like Kursk showed that. And videos, now that we can get FPV videos showing that, I mean, we can see videos of Russian soldiers killing their own commanders. I did a video about Russians resorting to cannibalism on the front line. This isn't something we've seen in Europe since the siege of Stalingrad.